Jerusalema ikhaya lami ilondoloze uhambe nami zungangishilana dawo yami ayikholana buso wami awukholana ilondoloze zuhambe nami dawo yami ayikholana buso wami awukholana ilondoloze zuhambe nami ilondoloze 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 zungangishilana ilondoloze 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 zungangishilana dawo yami ayikholana buso wami awukholana ilondoloze zuhambe nami dawo yami ayikholana buso wami awukholana ilondoloze zuhambe nami. Jerusalema ikhaya lami ilondoloze uhambe nami zungangishilana Jerusalema ikhaya lami ilondoloze uhambe nami zungangishilana dawo yami ayikholana buso wami awukholana ilondoloze zuhambe nami.
As Jerusalem, we love you, man. That's what it's all about. 5 minutes down after the hour of 11 o'clock. We're going to make the break. And when we come back, it's Frank and Candid time. You stick and stay right where you are. It's been a beautiful morning. It got wet on the outside, but it's pretty cool on the inside right now.
Are you wondering what to do this holiday season? Will it be the same? Will you be able to give your family all that they need? Well, with TDC Financial Services, all your holiday woes will disappear. You can get up to $35,000 unsecured for your holiday needs. Give us a call at 465-6516 or 469-0054 to find out how we can help to make your holidays happier for you and your family. TDC Financial Services, where money is made easy.
The things that now, hey, soul lovers! The St. Kitts Nevis National Carnival Committee presents the 2020 Calypso 10, a virtual series on November 14th. Legend, November 21st. Proud Sound, November 28th. Legend, and December 5th. Proud Sound. Exclusive streaming at 8 p.m. on the SKN Carnival Facebook page, YouTube channel, and on ZIZ Radio and Television. These events were made possible by ZIZ Broadcasting Corporation, St. Kitts and Nevis Development Bank, the Royal St. Kitts Hotel, S.L. Hosfords and Company Limited, Flow, Carib Brewery St. Kitts and Nevis, and Pro Video Production. Carnival celebrations redefined for Sugar Mash 49.
Catch Real Talk with real people on Frank and Candid with you, the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. Monday through Friday from 11 a.m.
It's Frank and Candid on ZIZ Radio. Thank you, Wani Rascal, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters tuned in to ZIZ today, Wednesday, 18th November 2020. What a lovely day to celebrate and give God thanks for the beautiful gift of life. Of course, as per usual, we always remember that it is nothing that we have done that merits the gift of life at this point, but only and exclusively through the benevolence, mercy, and compassion of Almighty God, while we still abide on the land of the living. Yesterday, of course, you would have listened, I presume, I hope, to the proceedings at the National Assembly, since whatever occurs there affects us directly, much more so than indirectly, but certainly affects us all in one way or another. Today, we're back with you on Frank and Candid. And before I introduce you to my guest, I just want to remind you of two things. One, this evening, today, Wednesday, at 7 p.m. sharp, so please don't come at 7:15 or 7:30. You very well know how the COVID regulations operate. If you're given a certain time limit within which to have a function, you have to abide by that, otherwise you might very well end up on the wrong end of the exercise. So we wanted to be there by 6:45 to start on time at 7. The Men's Council has organized a public lecture on COVID-19 and men. COVID-19 and men. So men in particular are invited to be there this very evening at the Old Girls School on Victoria Road, the Anglican Church Hall, it is referred to in more recent times. And we want to learn about why is it that COVID has been impacting so negatively on men in particular all over the world, and what can we do, of course, to keep it far away from us. So be there this evening. Last week we had organized, or we had arranged to meet at the Girl Guides headquarters on Taylor's Range, all those of us who are interested in playing Scrabble, in learning to play Scrabble. Last week, Thursday, of course, we had no electricity, and it was raining cats and dogs. So it was a dark, cold, wet evening. We had to postpone that session. We're having it tomorrow, Thursday, instead. Same time, 6 o'clock at the Girl Guides headquarters on Taylor's Range. My guest here is going to be there. We're inviting all those of you who are interested in playing the game and in learning to play the game to turn out for 6 o'clock. Again, we ask you to be early, bearing in mind we won't have all evening, so that we can see how far we can get with the moving Scrabble forward for those of us who love to play the game and are interested in learning to play the game. Thank you very much for paying attention to those two bits of information, those two notices. And for today, I have in the studio with me a beautiful young lady. I'm not sure how many of us are familiar with her, so she will tell you her name and what she represents and what her role here this morning is, and she'll get right into her offering. We invite you to pay attention, and you can call her and discuss with her what she would have mentioned, ask questions, seek clarification, make comments, etc. So over to you, my dear.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Petrine Clark. I am the librarian at the Charles A. Halbert Public Library. Today I am here in my capacity as an Education USA advisor. I'm here to speak to you about this week, which is identified as International Education Week. It is an opportunity to celebrate and benefit on international education and exchange worldwide. It's a joint initiative of the U.S. Department of State and the U.S. Department of Education as a part of the U.S. government effort to promote programs to prepare Americans for global environment and attract future leaders from abroad to study, learn, and exchange experiences. The International Education Week is held annually, and this year it runs from November 16th to the 20th. So that's this week. Education USA advising centers, of which there is one at the Charles A. Halbert Public Library, U.S. colleges and universities, businesses, international organizations, and the U.S. embassies globally host various activities throughout the week, celebrating the benefits of international education and exchange worldwide. Throughout the week, our Eastern Caribbean Education USA advisors will be conducting outreach visits to schools to discuss the value of international education and exchange. The U.S. Embassy in Barbados is hosting a week of virtual programs geared at assisting students who wish to pursue U.S. higher education in areas of STEM, arts, sports. These live broadcasts will be at 12 noon on the Facebook page, and that Facebook page link is www.facebook.com/US Embassy. So that's the information about international education.
You have a caller already, sister, so get ready. Good morning, caller. Hello.
Yes, good morning, folks.
Good morning.
Yes.
And good morning to this morning, Carl Governor. And this topic is so timely on education, because I'm very disappointed with let's say working people in the civil service and the governance of the civil service authority. Because as you're on education, I feel for many years now, young people, mid-age people, go out and educate yourself to the highest degree that you can. The young people, mid-age people go out and do it. But when they then achieve all these high achievements in education, they come back to the job. But when they come back, the problem we have with the grandmas and grandpas in jobs where they're getting the pension, they're getting the social security, they're getting a government salary. But yet you have all these middle-aged and young people back here with high degree, bright ideas, efficient and innovative skill and knowledge to move the country forward and to make a contribution to the state country. But all these grandpa and grandma holding up the job that these people are to get. And the other thing about it is these people are hundreds of thousands of dollars to banking institution, the home sitting down and the bank calls them every month. But we have these grandpa and grandma with 3 salaries in these jobs, and folks that we sell off and tell them go on to educate themselves, home sitting down and zero.
Okay.
So, could I get some response from you? And it's not only in the government service, in the private sector too.
Yeah,
and they have this way of telling you that side.
Yeah, Cal. Oh goodness, what happened? You are not fit? Okay, Cal, I hope you called back. I want an answer to these questions here. One, I hope to see you this evening at the lecture. That's one, okay, at the old girls' school. But with respect to what you're raising again, I wanted to propose an age at which you think these grandpas and grandmas should be asked to retire, should be asked to vacate, should be asked to demit, should be asked to exit. What age do you recommend, sir? Share that with me. And 2, when we send these grandpas and grandmas home, what do you suggest that they do after they are sent home? Describe to me, discuss with me what your ideas are with respect to those 2 questions. What should be an appropriate age to ask the grandpas and grandmas to go home, to make room for the younger persons who we are all encouraging to go and educate themselves? And when they do go home, what should they do when they go home? Call us back and discuss that with us, please. Thank you very much. Okay. I'm glad to hear you speak of what you did, Petrine. But tell us, in what ways does International or Education USA, in what ways does Education USA benefit the public in St. Kitts and Nevis?
Thank you for that question.
Okay, Cal is back. So before you answer the question, yeah, Cal, talk to me.
Yes, I'm back. Here's what is happening. the government many years ago set an age at 55 that people in the civil service go home at retirement. Now we are asking the other question, what should they do?
So wait, Carl. Do you agree that 55 is the correct age now? Because remember that age was set maybe even before you were born.
No. That was set under Dr. Denzel Douglas Labour government a few years ago.
Is that a fact?
Yes, that's a fact.
I don't think so. But in any
Yes,
event,
that's a fact.
do you agree that that's a proper age in these times? Or you think the age should be lowered or raised?
That's a proper age.
Okay, fine.
Working in the civil service, you should prepare yourself for retirement.
At what age? At 55?
At 55.
Okay, good.
We last set that.
I hear you. All right, carry on. I don't agree, and I don't think many people agree, but go ahead.
Yeah, and you're asking what should they do? That is why when you're working in the civil service, at a certain age while you're in the civil service, you should don't prepare yourself what you're going to do in retirement or during retirement.
Okay.
You have to move out the way and let other people make a contribution to the country and state. You're now getting your government pension. And we have a lot of people in the civil service, 60 odd, 70 odd, and going into the 80s. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Okay.
You could be home, you should be relaxing and enjoying your time and take a little trip, go on the beach, go on a little tour, go on a little jog, a little walk, do a little backyard gardening, do a little something in your house, around your place, and look at these young people now making their contribution.
I see.
And adding something to the federation and the country.
Okay.
Turn back the land.
All right. So as far as you're concerned, as soon as a worker reaches the age of 55, a man or woman reaches the age of 55, he no longer can add any value to the economy, to the workplace, to the society. So he should pack up and leave. Okay, that's your opinion.
Yes, you should pack up and leave. Listen here.
Okay.
Life is a cycle. You're born, you go to the different school, you go to college, university, or you enter the work world. After you enter the work world, it's retirement.
Yeah, but life.
After retirement is death.
The circumstances that dictate and circumscribe life change over time. One of them being life expectancy. I was telling you the last time that life expectancy in St. Kitts at one point was just over 50. Today it's close to 80. So whatever we would have put in place in given that reality, that the life expectancy was just around 50 or a little over 50, we cannot continue to operate with the same paradigm now that life expectancy has increased tremendously. And you would agree with that. So I just thought I'd point that out. Okay?
So the other thing I is very concerning is that all these folks go off, get the highest education, but when they apply for jobs, whether the private sector or the government sector, they are being told they're overqualified. What these people supposed to do with all these degrees and alphabet letters to their name?
Yeah,
when you can't get a job in the private sector, you can't get a government job, but you owe down $200,000 to pay back.
I don't think there's any such thing as overqualification. I think anyone...
That's what they're telling the people.
To me, that is not fair. That doesn't make sense. Anyone can do
Exactly, and that is why we have to prepare for retirement. And move up the way and let the young people slide in and move up the ladder accordingly. Because you have people under these grandma and grandpas that are working their 20 or 30 years. They know the job inside out. But yet, the grandpas and grandma won't move out the way, and the authorities won't retire them and let other people move in.
Okay, but I want you to understand, Carl, that it cannot be just a function of age, a matter of age. As soon as you arrive at a certain age, you have to leave. That cannot work. That will not work. You're going to upset the equilibrium in the economy, in the workplace, and many businesses will end up in trouble if they were to adopt that policy.
Oh no, we have people walking under them all the time, being trained constantly. That is why you send off all these people to conferences and training and all these things, because you are preparing them to move on further. While these grandpa and grandma in the 70s and 80s and 60 plus move out, so the people can move in, the economy move and continue. The company don't fail until we continue to progress, because brighter ideas, new initiatives, and more motivate corruption come to the company or the organization because of these highly educated people.
Okay, so Carl, you are prepared to move out when you turn 55?
Oh yes, sir. Just now I'm leaving, sir.
Okay.
I'm getting in my 27th year, and I'm only 53.
Okay.
I'm moving out there for a young person to come in.
Very well. Okay, thank you, sir. Appreciate that. All right. Okay, I don't know, Patrice, sorry, Petrine, if you want to make a comment to Carl's intervention, along with answering the question that was asked earlier.
Well,
Of course, be prepared to be interrupted if we get another caller.
as Carl says, the young people are being educated, and that is one of the reasons why we have an Education USA Center here, in order to assist students who would like to go off to study in a US-based university.
So, you do assist individuals, citizens,
Assist
individuals.
in the
In what
sense
way?
of guidance, not in giving scholarships.
Offering scholarships.
Right, but we guide them. So we would ask them, what is it you would like to study? We have, as I said, there is a center at the public library, so we have materials for them to look through. So somebody might say, well, I have an aunt in New York and I need to do hospitality, but I am not aware of which university is offering and, close to the area. So we can look through the document for allocation, for what the universities are offering, and to see if it suits what you want to do. That's one of the things we do. In addition to that, we always advise our students to get at least 1 year financing, because when you go off to university, sometimes there are grants, there are loans, there are scholarships, but we don't want you to go in with your hand bearing and saying, I want a scholarship. Go in, prove yourself for about the first year, and then you can apply within the university to whatever grants and scholarships are being offered.
You spoke also of getting involved in exchange. Did I hear you right? That you get involved in international education, or you promote education, international education and exchange. Describe to us some more what the exchange aspect of it entails.
International Education Week and the exchange. The exchange basically would work between the U.S. Embassy, because we are just the face. But when we are helping our students, we now have to contact our persons at the U.S. Embassy who will make the contact for these kind of things.
I see.
Sometimes we have persons from the U.S. Embassy coming down to conduct workshops, because...
Yeah, we have a caller here.
Conduct workshops on because you have to apply for a visa.
Right.
So they give them guidance as to how that is done.
That. Okay,
yes.
let's take this caller. Hello, caller.
Yes, good morning to both of you.
Morning.
Very well.
Allow me to just say happy birthday to my second daughter over there in Florida. Her name is Nisha Davis, and it's coming from her daddy, Emil Davis.
Very well.
Yes, she's a wonderful person.
Definitely.
Anyway, I just want to let me comment on some things that Mr. Carl was saying. He keep on saying these things over the years. Don't care what you do. You always need experience. You have a lot of bright young people, yes, no doubt about that, exceptionally bright people, so much so that in the advanced countries, they set up special schools for them, for exceptional children. Those are they're going to be your later scientists and so forth in all areas of life. Especially, you have a lot of young scientists who work for NASA and other areas like that. Technology industry.
Yeah, gifted students.
But they need experience. You cannot do without experience. What you really want in any country is a mix. Some people are so good that they give them liberty to work whether in private sector or public sector, because the experience is so invaluable. You got other young bright people, yes, but they don't have the experience. So they need to balance out with working with older people. And 55 years is, in my mind, that is just about your primary life. And with the health system around the world, and in our case, man at 55 got plenty more to go. Because people live, the longevity of life is much more now.
Some persons are becoming fathers for the first time after 55.
All right. The British Prime Minister just got a baby there.
Yes, I know.
This year,
Mm-hmm.
at 55. So, I mean, I'm not saying everybody must do that, but, man, 55 you much different from once upon a time. I remember, okay, I used to, okay, Dr. Christmas used to work for United Nations in water and sanitation.
Dr. Joseph Christmas.
Yeah, around the world, yeah. Well, he told me that in some parts of Africa, when a man reaches 50, they have a big party because men and women, but especially men, never used to reach 50. They in the 30s, they look like some men done in the 70s and so forth. Some parts of Africa, but things are improving,
Right.
because he used to go on projects like, okay, as I tell you the kind of work he used to do. But he used to go out in the field to work and meet up, interact with people, as other people. So, Carl, stop and think, man. If you got West Indies team playing cricket, you can't go all young men. But look how India performs so well. You got to have balance. You got youth and experience. So, I think you need to get the notion out your head. And start thinking in another form. You don't work in the health area. And you look how young you look, and you say you're nearly 55. I mean, if a man is 55, and as you were telling him, the 55, Douglas never bring up that. The country went through economic problems, so they lay off people at 55 because they had a law that was there from colonial times. Barbados was complaining a few years ago about how many persons retired at 55, and they got a big year in them pension. So it would have been better if the people stay on longer.
Working, definitely.
As far as I know, the age now from some back there in the 80s is 62. Police who work at 62 under certain conditions and all of that. Can't get your facts right, man. Yeah, but anyway, you keep it alive, but I think you have some wrong information. And I don't think people should retire at 50. I remember some men work for Thurston and TDC and Hartford and them. And they work like when they're nearly 80 or up to 80. Yeah, Mr. Wall, I mean, it was the business. Mr. Wall used to walk home every day for lunch. The man from Wall Bookstore.
Definitely, I remember that, yeah.
And he used to walk home. Then the other man used to live, lawyer used to live up there where youth and community be. Henville used to walk.
Well, Richard Keynes died the other day, and he walked right up almost until death.
All right, so I don't see your argument. The experience where people got when they're up in age, and that help them to function even better longer.
I made that point
and
as well.
They have so much history about whatever they're doing, to not only about the job, but other things, to pass on to you, man. Okay, so, Mr. Carl, my friend, you know. I want you to think differently, man. Have a good day.
Thank you. All right. Well, okay, we take that intervention. Carry on, Petrine.
In another area where we speak about exchange, I remember when I was off to university. University is not just about study and everything. Sometimes you teach people your own local skills. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you know something, I know something. I remember when I was at university, we used to have a
That was in the United States?
No, we had a Caribbean cultural night, and so persons from the Caribbean would do such dish from there. So these are things that you exchange. So persons shouldn't just think of going to university to study. You meet friends, you learn things. Like the gentleman said, you get experience. You have, sometimes you can even go and do little jobs on campus, and you learn something new.
Actually, this is why I have decided none of my few degrees has ever been done on site. Sorry, online. Mm-hmm. I go
and have
and
experience.
I'm on site,
yes,
and I study because of all those benefits you mentioned,
yes,
plus more.
Yes,
definitely.
Yes.
Let's take this caller first. See what he or she has to say. Hello, caller.
Yes, good day, Mr. Blake.
Very well.
Yes, I see everybody wants to hijack the program today.
That's okay.
But that's okay. Yeah, okay. The question, I think, though, is, well, I think it's mostly one of consistency, right?
Which
I
question?
think everyone, because of COVID, is now familiar with the term protocol, right? We know that, you know, those are put in place for very good reasons. We know that there are bad consequences if they are not followed, right? We may differ on the extent of the punishment for not following protocol, but we all accept that there should be consequences if they are not followed. I think the problem comes when we do things arbitrarily, when power is wielded to break existing conventions and rules. I would argue that there are very few positions, certainly in government, that persons once trained can't do, regardless of age. Nothing beats experience, that's true, but one can argue that a lot of experience can be, in fact, taught without the costly trial and error method. Right? Persons who have reached a ripe age of whatever it is should realize that they are taking up space that younger ones should really be occupying. They should realize that one should not have to work all the days of their life. If you have to do that, it shows that, well, to me, it shows a life that was not well planned.
I disagree, but carry on.
Well, yeah, okay. Sure. You see, my point is, if they are so good and indispensable, then put that expertise to other areas, whether in private industry, in entrepreneurship,
Yeah, but being good and being indispensable,
consultancy or something, huh?
being good and being indispensable are two different things. I don't think anyone thinks that he or she is indispensable. I hope nobody ever harbors that thought that he or she is indispensable.
But keeping
But
on people for years and years make it seem as if some people believe that.
Okay.
I mean, get involved in some consultancy or NGO or something, or do like me and stay in your armchair and point out the idiosyncrasies and wrong things that are going on, okay? And do so based on your years of experience. I mean, but to answer your question directly though, right? I don't see nothing wrong with 55, right? Maybe I'm speaking from personal experience. I retired long from government service long before I was 55. But I think there you can stay on until 60 on a month-to-month or year-to-year basis or something like that.
A contractual basis, yeah.
Right. Okay. I would increase that to 62 when you can receive Social Security pensions. Okay. But you know, I don't think it should go beyond that. It's nice to have a young, vibrant civil service. I think it's good to have younger ones coming in and aspiring to get to the top. All right, that's what keep the civil service vibrant. Okay, and so I wouldn't go for having people in the civil service for
So
above certainly not above 62.
You support? Oh, okay, 62. All right, because I am seeing I am seeing a time arrive, and maybe sooner than later, when the age to access Social Security, which now stands at 62, is itself going to be increased to maybe 65 or 67, or if life expectancy, which you referred to the other day, if life expectancy continues to increase up to 70.
Hold on.
I can see that happening.
So when do you stop? When do you stop? No.
So I am saying that if this is the case, then we cannot continue to insist that people retire at a set age. That age of retirement must also increase commensurate with the increase in life expectancy.
Why should it be matched to life expectancy? Give me one good reason. It's not like, once ago, right? It was accepted both in the public and private sectors that you're in a job, you get trained for a job, you're in there for life. That is no longer so. That stopped being so a long time ago. Yeah. A lot of people adapt and go into other areas. We always emphasize continuing education, right? Constant retraining, adapting, learning, right? Being stuck in a civil service job forever and ever is not consistent with that, I don't think.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I hope Carl is aware, though, that persons can start to work with government at the age of 20 and retire after 25 years, which means that person will just be 45 years and be entitled to his pension.
Right.
Because he keeps referring to the persons that are grandmas and grandpas are on pension. I don't know if he's going to refer to someone at 45 as being a grandma or grandpa, but that person can very well be on pension.
Well, certainly, when you ask the question, what do they do when they go home so early?
Yes.
They don't have to stay home. They still have working life ahead of them. Okay, if they feel like working, they work. If they don't, if they can afford not to, well, they don't.
Okay.
Right. That's how I look at it anyway.
All right. I think the conversation should continue though.
Yeah.
Because it's a valid one.
Right.
Yeah. Good. Okay. I certainly believe Petrie young people really ought to be given an opportunity to work. But let's take another caller. Hello. Good morning. Okay. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Blake.
All right.
I don't have any problem with the young people coming into work, right? But the majority of young people today, they don't even safe now to answer telephone. Yes, they got a lot of subjects,
10 levels and 10 degrees, yeah,
and different things, but they just cannot answer telephone properly. They don't know to speak to people properly. You know, so what I'm saying is that at 55, going home at 55, it's quite young to me, because what are you going to do with the other 7 years? As the last caller was making all kind of suggestion, I'm 60, and I'm still in my good youth and vibrant. You understand? So I always say, once you're not sick and ailing, I think you could continue. But as we continue at this age, right, we could, like move in the young people and piece by piece and teach them the ropes of how to handle. Because we don't say these young people this and that and that, but sometimes you may put them in and then they collapse the system. You understand? Because of the way they think. They call them the new millennium. You understand? They are different to me and you. In the 60s, how we brought up. This is a new world. It's a new concept. It's a new era. It's a new everything. So everything is going to change. You understand? And we have to train these children, because the way they carry themselves sometimes is not easily appropriate. You understand? So before we downgrade, we're supposed to upgrade. But after 60 years, that means 60 years, I still young, I could still move. I could still do a lot of work. You understand? In the United States, you see them many ministers, government, they're up there till 80, 79. Nobody says right. But if you're strong and vibrant, you could continue. But my main question I want to get to you today, this morning, and to Miss Clark, you know, why it is 55 come for me, 55 come for you, and 55 come for other persons and not ministers of government. Thank you.
Okay, that question will be for Cal Brown, not for Miss Clark. Definitely not for my guest here. She's not one of those protagonists or proponents of that argument. And I asked that question the other day too. If we are going to insist that people retire at 55, are we saying it applies to every Muna Magai, or are some professions exempt? Does that include ministers of religion, priests and pastors and so on? And does it include ministers of government? Because around the world, there are so many ministers of government who are way past, not just 55, but way past 70 and 80. Remember, just the other day, Robert Mugabe was already past 90 when he was still very much in control of Rhodesia. I remember Joaquin Balaguer in the Dominican Republic, who was not only in his 90s, but who was blind as ever. He was blind and insisted on remaining in the presidency of the Dominican Republic. Let's take this caller. Hello?
Mr. Blair.
Yes, sir.
I hear you talking something there. Very interesting. I hear you say that some people get children at 55.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and 60, but who for? That is not the government fault. That's true at that time.
No, we're not blaming the government at all. I was just trying to prove that people at that age are still very virile, and you know, I was saying that they should not be sent home at that age because they're still capable of doing a lot of things. And some of them are just
I
becoming
understand
fathers.
they come up 20-something years, they're 25, 26, or some kind of age and go home and start look at next job and so. But the people who work in the sugar work until they're 60 odd years and get the smartest pension. You understand? Who do you have this work get the respect? Wow, you hear that?
That's one of the injustices of life.
In a sun and rain. In a sun and rain.
Yep.
So when I think you could send home people when they don't reach 55, as you say, and get rest. We don't work until they. Some people work until they don't know. You only rest most people get, especially black people, is when they're going in the coffin. So what are you working for? Where you don't care money and all them things. If you work for good money, like a teacher or whatever, policeman or whoever it is, because in the sugar cane, sometimes people go with like a 140, you know.
Wow.
All a 140, you know. Them woman who I see with them on your shoulder and thing, you know. Me a warn you, because sugar me come from too, you know. And then me begin at that, then me end.
Right.
So the people who used to really get the money in sugar, is sometimes the grab driver, maybe a tractor driver, and people sometimes got to work all day.
Okay.
I used to go and flick in the sugar cane. I used to live home in Malone Avenue when I live in Bastille. Come from go need must reach all the St. Paul's and so. Sometimes I start to work 5. Sometimes I start to work 6, reach back 6, you know.
Wow.
You understand?
Yes, sir.
And the most people work in the sugar. If you check the Social Security, it's $400, me I warn you. I warning you that.
Understood.
So,
Okay.
so I was saying if $100 and I should top up them the money, not young people money. Because they may just come. You got to give people, the people who don't work hard in this country, them kind of money there. I was always saying that. And I was saying when the sugar closed, and if I'm a prime minister, to come and give people the work with your car tech. You should give people them because remember you only give people them $20,000, $20,000 the money all like today. And that they don't people still go look something. If we're not gonna change and help you, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. Are the people who use the matches and who use the hoe in the Ushiragi and send the young people them go around trade. I will tell you this.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that. And he's right. Nobody has ever killed work yet, but work has killed quite a few. Right, Petrine?
Yes.
Okay, let's remember that. We have another caller. Let's take him or her.
Good morning, Brother Blake.
Morning, sir.
You have a guest there with you?
Yes, I do. Fine young lady here by the name of Petrine Clark. Are you married, Miss Clark? No, she's not, Mr. Politics.
Okay. All right then. Yeah, this is Mr. Politics here. Yeah. Now, Brother Blake, I was going mountain the other day. You know, I get injured. Me put injured because of February this year. I get an accident in a bus. So they give me some hot something. They give me a little trouble. But it get worse. And I have going up the mountain, going up. And a guy meet me. A young guy meet me, tell me, man, give me cattle them, man. Give me the cattle them now. You know, you able to look on the cattle, you see all. But if I give him the cattle them, I know I still going to sell them. You understand? So I believe that a man 55 years, active and good, and could work in any organization. Because some of them young people ain't committed. Our ageable people, they are committed to do the work. Tell me, put any young man for a security to go work. See if you're going to step on the job. You're not going to step on the job. That's why I see that most of these government places hire these elderly people because they're going to step on the job and they're going to do the work. These young men, they go to sleep, and then in the morning they go back and do whatever they're going to do. You understand?
Okay.
So I believe that, you know, I say that you must get young people out there with subject, and a man with 55 years, and he could get pension. He make room for a young person, because young people went to college, they do the degree, and they get a work. But the ordinary job them, with government and so, young people ain't interested, they're committed to the work, they want to do the work. So you find the man who's 55 and going 55 to 60 years. He gonna commit, he gonna do the work because he know that he got his grandchildren, them will help. He know he got maybe whatever to do. You understand?
Okay.
All right then.
Okay, thank you. Petrine, we have one more call because I want to get back to you. I noticed that the folks have forgotten that you're here and the matter you're dealing with. So let's take this one caller and then we get back to you.
Okay.
For sure. Let's take this caller here. Hello.
Yes, Mr. Blake?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Yes,
this is for Miss Clark this time.
Yes.
The library acts as a kind of a reservoir for information on U.S. universities, or is it just encouraging going to universities generally?
We do both.
You do both.
Yes, so we do have information on certain universities, and we guide the students if they would like to apply to the universities in the United States.
But that's what I was wondering. If it's just restricted to United States, just the United States.
Yes.
So you're not, in a sense, you're not encouraging going to regional universities.
In this capacity, I would not, but I myself did a regional university. But we have it open. But in the capacity as a Education USA advisor, I am only compelled to speak on American universities.
I see. Okay. All right. How do you find do you find a lot of young people here are attracted to that as opposed to a regional university?
That was my question for her, really. To what extent are her services being accessed?
Yeah.
We do have a few, and being as close to the CFBC, we do encourage the students to come over. We do have an area set up with the information visible, so some of them, they do move towards that, right? I wouldn't know how much would go to the region, but like I say, they speak to me about American. We have a few that get accepted and move on, you know, but unfortunately there is no way of tracking when they leave.
A final question. When this program was set up, what are you privy to exactly what the objectives were from the U.S. standpoint?
I somewhat inherited the position when I became the librarian at the public library just a few years ago. So, but the general objective I'm seeing is they want to increase the university attendance in the United States.
Okay. All right. Okay, Mr. Blake.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks very much, Mr. Blake.
Yeah, appreciate that. All right. I wanted to ask you that, really. Are you finding a large number of students accessing your services, coming to get that kind of advice and information that you proffer?
We get a few, but like I said, I think it should be more. It could be more, but many students, they do it on their own. So we do have students that's going off to the States, but they did not access my service.
Right, yeah.
Right, but that is one of the reasons why I'm here, to let our students know that they do have an underground person.
Okay.
And if they need guidance, that is what I'm here for. If they need to ask questions, that is what we're here for. If we have a group of students who says, we are trying to get our student visa, but we are having a problem, we can organize a virtual conference with the persons
very
at
important.
U.S. Embassy. That is what we're here for. So whatever problem they're having, we can find a solution for it through the U.S. Embassy.
And we know that the U.S. Embassy has just restarted.
Yes, the visa.
Right,
yes.
the accepting visa applications and so on. Now, tell the audience then, how do they access you, apart from visiting you physically at the public library, which is located on the same premises as the Clarence Fitzgerald Bryan College? How else can they contact you?
Okay, you can call me at the library's number, which is 465-2384. I'm easily accessible that way. Or we have emails, and mine would be pclark@educationusa.org.
That's, I want to repeat it for the audience's benefit.
Clark
at
educationusa.org.
Yes. And the telephone number would be 465-2384.
Yes.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are interested, or you have children, relatives, friends who are interested in pursuing further studies in the United States, I think it would be a good idea if you were to speak with Miss Petrine Clark, librarian at the Charles H. Liebert Public Library.
Charles A. Halbert.
Charles H. Halbert, sorry. Library, Public Library.
Yes.
On the compound of the CFB college, and she'll be glad to give you relevant information that can facilitate your entry into the United States and into a college there.
Yes, and I also facilitate walk-ins. So you
Walk-ins,
can just
okay,
stop
sure.
by. I can give
No
you
appointment
a tour.
necessary?
Not necessary. You can come in, you tell me what you're interested in, and we go through the material. I give you my card, and we keep in touch.
And what days are you available? Are you available on weekends, for example?
No, we work Monday to Friday.
Monday to Friday?
Yes, and I'm accessible from between 10
10
to about 3.
To 3?
Yes.
Including the so-called lunch hour?
Yes.
Okay, Monday to Friday, 10 to 3. Ladies and gentlemen, youngsters in particular, you can speak to Miss Clark and get valuable, relevant information with respect to further studies in the United States. Remember now, she is focusing on the United States and not in Latin America or in Asia or Australia or anywhere else, or in Canada for that matter, or Europe, in the United States. And we know that lots of our students have studied there, are studying there, and would like to study in the United States of America. Miss Clark, anything else you'd like to share with us? Because we are down to a final minute or two.
I was going through my steps of what we assist our students with, and one of the things we also assist with is assisting them with completing their applications. We guide them through it, and we make sure they don't forget anything. Again, with the visa application, we speak to them about how you can answer questions. It's like a visitor's visa. There are certain things you should say, you shouldn't say. And if you are going to apply for a visa, you must be accepted to the university first.
Yes.
Yes.
So do you assist them with actually uploading information and forwarding relevant documents to the particular university and so on? You do that
if
on site?
necessary. If necessary, we can.
Is there a charge for that?
No.
Okay.
No, we don't charge. In addition to that, some universities, they require the students to do SATs.
Right.
We offer the dates.
Okay.
At some point, we at the library, I would like to get someone who would volunteer to do the SAT classes, because we don't have that access. That would be a plus for us.
Definitely.
Right, so I'm putting it out there now. If anybody would like to volunteer to do SAT classes, we do get that request as well.
Right, volunteer, meaning there's no remuneration for those who might want to consider it.
Right, so we share the dates of the SATs so that the students, we actually have SAT books, so the students can have an idea of what the SAT looks like, and they can even have practice papers.
Okay.
Everything is there, and this is something that is offered throughout the Eastern Caribbean. So we have an USA advisor in St. Kitts, we have an Education USA advisor in Nevis, so we don't have one for two.
Okay.
We have two, and the one in Nevis is also at the public library.
Okay.
Her name is Miss Paris, Anastasia Paris. We have Antigua, we have Dominica, we have Grenada.
Okay.
We also have St. Lucia, St. Vincent, and the Grenadines.
Okay.
So that's it. And you can always contact me at the library, like I'm saying.
Thank you very much. Well, it was a pleasure having you, Miss Clark. I am happy that you've come. You've shared information which I myself was not familiar with, and I hope that at least a couple of dozens of persons on the outside would access your services, would follow up on this information, and help themselves get closer towards realizing their dreams of a degree from a U.S. university. Thank you very much for coming, and you're welcome to come again, by the way, if you want to further this discussion, further this conversation, because we noticed a number of the calls, of course, were extraneous to this particular issue, but you can come again at any time, and we'll be glad to entertain you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being a part of Frank and Candid today. Until we meet again tomorrow, do the right thing. Yay!
At ZIZ, we want to take a moment to salute our small business owners and encourage you to support them. Our small business owners are always hard at work providing quality goods and services to you. They also provide employment for many and can be counted on to give back to our communities. Today and every day, we salute our small business owners and we say thank you for the opportunity to provide advertising services to you. If you're a small business, call us at 465-2621 to join our family of small business advertisers. Call us 465-2621. You'll be glad you did.
Did you sell? You know it's a vibe, brand new life is a promise. Steady striving for more, no more limitations. Passionate communication, reaching every heart to the generations. Innovation all for the community, proud to bring unity. It's a movement with a new source of energy. It's so fresh, this is what freedom feels like. It's the best, I hope the world to take you higher. We're better together.
At Nature's Discount, the herbal store on 4th Street, we provide herbal supplements for all your needs. Blood sugar, blood pressure, prostate, liver, heart, kidney, and more. Oils, pure herbal teas, wholesome vitamins, healthy foods, alkaline water, bodybuilding supplements, weight loss and sexual health supplements, even hair and body care products. We support the natural health of the whole family. Get healthy naturally. Call us at 662-5447. Like us